In this class, we will see the portal vein. Portal vein we will see in this two places in the body, in this abdomen and also in the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. So when you tell portal vein, what are its characteristics? It begins like veins from the capillary plexus. So it is formation is like the veins and ends like arteries by branching. So that may be the interesting features of this portal veins. Now we will see this portal vein. It drains blood from the entire abdominal part of the alimentary tract except the lower part of the rectum and the anal canal, and also the venous system from the spleen, pancreas and gallbladder. They unite to form the portal vein. Trunk of the portal vein finally drains into inferior vena cava via the hepatic veins. Hepatic veins we have seen in the liver section. They pass through the groove or inferior vena cava to open into the inferior vena cava. So what are the peculiarities of the portal vein? It begins like veins, ends like arteries, dividing into right and left branches of portal vein at the porta hepatis. In addition to venous blood, what is its main function? It should carry the absorbed products of the food from the intestines to the liver for storage. So that is the main function of this portal vein, and it acts as the reservoir of blood. If you see 1500 ml of blood circulating through the liver per minute, this 1200 ml is provided by the portal vein and only 300 ml is provided by the hepatic artery. So 1/3 of the entire volume of blood will be maybe stored in this portal system. And if you see what are the two now blood entering this liver is from the portal vein and also from the hepatic artery. So this two admixture of this arterial blood takes place in the hepatic sinusoids. Also, these tributaries and its portal vein are devoid of valves. So these are the peculiarities of the portal vein. Formation of portal vein, one thing I want to tell, in the exam sometimes formation of portal vein will be asked or the development of portal vein. So the students sometimes used to confuse with this. Formation of portal vein, only you should write this adult anatomy. Only when it is asked as development of portal vein, you should write the embryology. Where it is formed, we have seen in behind the neck of pancreas, formed by the union of superior mesenteric and the splenic veins. In front of the inferior vena cava at the level of L2 vertebra. So this is the formation of behind the neck of the pancreas by the union of splenic and the superior mesenteric veins. So after formation, it has an extrahepatic part and intrahepatic part. Mainly same like biliary apparatus, extrahepatic and intrahepatic. This portal vein also will have the extrahepatic part and the intrahepatic parts. We will mainly see the extrahepatic part. So as it is entering the liver, that is the intrahepatic part. Outside that will be the extrahepatic part, formed by the union of splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, which you can see in the image below. So this extrahepatic part measures about 8 cm in length. From its formation, it passes upwards behind the neck of the pancreas and the first part of the duodenum. Then enters within the right free margin of the lesser omentum reaches the porta hepatis, where it divides into right and left branches. Same like the bile duct, same course of the portal vein. If you see the branches of portal vein, right branch of portal vein is shorter and more vertical, receives the cystic vein. Left branch is longer and more oblique. It receives the paraumbilical vein. So now we will see this relations of this extrahepatic part. So again the same, 8 centimeter in length, 2 centimeter in width. Course is behind the neck of the pancreas and first part of the duodenum to run in the right free margin of lesser omentum in front of the epiploic foramen. Reaches the porta hepatis, divides into right and left. Right branch is receiving cystic vein, left branch is receiving the paraumbilical vein. So now see the infraduodenal part. What will be infraduodenal part in front? Neck of the pancreas. For entire posterior relations of portal vein, you should remember inferior vena cava. In the last class, we have seen entire posterior relation of bile duct is portal vein. Entire posterior relation of portal vein is inferior vena cava. Right side is bile duct. Retroduodenal part again behind is inferior vena cava. In front is first part of duodenum. So it is the retroduodenal. So in front will be the first part of duodenum and also the bile duct and the gastroduodenal artery, which you can see in the image. Portal vein is there. In front is bile duct and the first part of the duodenum. Behind inferior vena cava is not shown in this. Supraduodenal part is the part within the right free margin of lesser omentum, which we have seen in so many sections of the classes. So what will be to the left in this free margin? Hepatic artery. In front and to the left is hepatic artery. In front and to the right is bile duct. And this portal vein will be behind these two structures. Behind the portal vein will be the inferior vena cava, but they will be separated by the epiploic foramen. If you see at the porta hepatis, we have seen in the liver class what are the structures from behind, front to behind. Right and left hepatic ducts, right and left branches of hepatic artery, and right and left branches of portal vein. So these are the order of the structures in the porta hepatis. Now intrahepatic part. So they will enter respectively right and left branches. They will enter the physiological right and left lobes of the liver. So that this portal vein will drain into the portal canal, then into the hepatic sinusoids. From there the central veins will start, so that they will reach the hepatic veins. Hepatic veins, it will be arranged in two groups, upper group and lower group, and they will pass through the groove for the inferior vena cava to drain into the inferior vena cava. So this is the chart of the intrahepatic part. Tributaries of the portal vein. Formative tributaries, superior mesenteric and splenic vein, received by the trunk of the portal vein, right gastric and left gastric veins, received by the two branches of portal vein, cystic vein on the right side, paraumbilical vein on the left side. There may be occasional tributaries like this: inferior mesenteric vein, right gastroepiploic vein and prepyloric vein. So main importance of this topic is porta-caval anastomosis. This may be asked separately as short notes. Instead of asking portal vein as direct essay, porta-caval anastomosis may be asked. So in this you should know what are the sites of the porta-caval anastomosis first. Then in each site you should write which is the tributary of portal vein and which is the tributary of caval vein, inferior vena caval vein. So why we should know about this porta-caval anastomosis? If there is obstruction in this portal vein, then there will be the reverse blood into the inferior vena caval vein tributaries. So there will be the enlargement of the veins at these sites. So that we have to know about this porta-caval anastomosis sites. So first site is at the lower end of the esophagus. In this, left gastric vein is esophageal tributaries is the portal vein system veins. Esophageal tributaries of hemiazygos vein is the systemic vein. What will be the symptoms in this? If there is portal obstruction, these veins will be enlarged. Esophageal varices, it will be called as. And symptoms will be hematemesis, vomiting of the blood. So this is the one site. At the lower end of rectum and anal canal, superior rectal vein is the portal system vein. Middle and inferior rectal veins is the systemic vein system. In portal obstruction, this superior rectal veins will be distended, causing internal rectal piles. So what will be the symptom? Bleeding along the sides of the fecal materials in defecation. At the umbilicus, this is the third site. Vein is the paraumbilical vein. Portal. Systemic are the superior epigastric veins, lateral thoracic veins from above, superficial epigastric and inferior epigastric veins from below, from the sides posterior intercostal and the lumbar veins. So in the portal obstruction, all these veins will be, so many veins we are seeing now around the umbilicus, so many systemic veins, the tributaries distended like the spokes of a wheel. This phenomenon is known as the caput medusae. So we can see in the picture. So this is the caput medusae like appearance around the umbilicus. So what are the veins you can see? So many veins we told. Superior epigastric. So superior epigastric SE, lateral thoracic veins. Yes, LT it is given. Paraumbilical veins. So many veins are seen in this. So they will all be enlarged around the umbilicus. So if you squeeze this blood from the distended paraumbilical veins, the filling of venous blood takes place in the centrifugal direction from the umbilicus. Fourth is behind the peritoneum of the posterior abdominal wall. Here the splenic veins and colic veins belong to the portal tributaries. Left renal vein and other tributaries will be of inferior vena cava will be the vena caval tributaries. They are connected by small veins. That veins will be called as veins of Ritzius. So left renal vein is connected by small veins. So this is about the tributaries of the portal vein. Formative tributaries, you first try to see splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein. Then into the trunk of the portal vein, you try to see the left gastric vein and right gastric vein. Then, so that these branches will receive the other veins. At the bare area of the liver, this is the fifth site, portal radicals of the liver with the diaphragmatic veins by a number of small veins which pass through the loose areolar tissue. In the falciform ligament, paraumbilical vein, that is the portal vein, communicate with the diaphragmatic vein by numerous small veins that will be called as accessory portal system of Saphe. So this is the sixth site. At the fissure for ligamentum venosum, normally before birth, left branch of portal vein communicates with the inferior vena cava through the ductus venosus. If it is not obliterated, then that will establish direct portacaval anastomosis at the fissure. So these are the 7 sites of the portacaval anastomosis at the lower end of esophagus, at the lower end of rectum and anal canal, around the umbilicus, behind the peritoneum of the posterior abdominal wall, at the barrier of the liver in the falciform ligament and also in the fissure ligamentum venosum. What is the applied anatomy of this portal vein? Portal hypertension. What is portal hypertension is normal pressure of portal vein is 5 to 10 millimeter of mercury. So this is on one MCQ in the PG entrance. If it is increased, that is the portal hypertension. What are the causes of portal hypertension? Maybe prehepatic in the liver. What is the causes? Prehepatic in the before the liver, that is the portal vein thrombosis. In the hepatic, cirrhosis of the liver. Post-hepatic may be the hepatic vein thrombosis or inferior vena cava thrombosis. So you have to think from portal vein to the liver, then from the liver to the hepatic veins to the inferior. So in any of these sites, that may be the obstruction causing the portal hypertension. So all this backflow of portal blood will be taking place through the radicals of the caval system. So that what will be the symptoms and signs of this portal hypertension? Ascites, that is the peritoneal fluid, enlargement of the peritoneal cavity with fluid, esophageal varices, anorectal varices, caput medusae. So what is the treatment of this varices is endoscopic banding of this varices. If they are bleeding through mouth, that is hematemesis, so that is immediately and in the emergency you have to do the endoscopic banding of the veins, or sometimes surgical portacaval shunt by anastomosing the left splenic and left renal veins with or without splenectomy. So that maybe we can try for the portacaval shunt surgeries also. So this completes the important topic of the portal vein. This is the most important topic in the abdomen. So you try to understand this portal vein and its tributaries and portacaval anastomosis and the importance of the portacaval anastomosis. So this may be an important topic in the final year also for your exams. You will be given the portal hypertension case in the surgery practical exams also. This is a clinically important topic also. Try to understand and learn, and we will continue in the next class.